Hey guys, what's going on? Summoner here. Today I have a update on my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile, which seemed to be a very popular thing. The new ban list just came out and it has affected this deck. So I'm going to jump right into that. And this time I have updated, I also made changes to my main deck, my extra deck, and my side deck. So I'm going to jump right in here to the main deck and let's get started. Alright, so Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. Obviously, you're going to end up needing 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Self-explanatory. Level 8 normal monster. Next, you need 3 Maiden with Eyes of Blue. This is the heart and soul of this deck. 1-star tuner, so you get Azurai's out, and its effect is just so overpowered. I don't know how it's not limited or semi-limited. So basically, someone attacks it, its effect activates, negates the attack, switches battle positions, and then Blue Eyes comes out on the field, and then you can synchro summon. Or if someone activates a card that targets this effect, either you or your opponent, Blue Eyes comes out on the field. So that's Maiden's effect. Next card we have 3. I have 3 White Stone Legend. 1-star light dragon tuner, basically why I use it, and when I card's a consonant, this card draw 2 cards. I draw 2 cards because the card's a consonant's effect. Then I get a Blue Eyes to my hand because of its effect. And then if I have a trade in my hand, I can draw 2 more cards by using trade in. That's basically what I use that for. Next, we have Shining Angel. This is basically the backup for Maiden. So if you don't draw a Maiden your first turn, basically what you're going to end up doing is setting it Shining if you have one. Your opponent's going to attack it, and then its effect activates, and you bring out Maiden on the field to stall your opponent and to bring out Blue Eyes White Dragon and hopefully Azurai's. So this is a new update to my deck. I used to run Rider of Dragon Souls, but now I decided to run Flame Veil Guard. It's a 1-star tuner. It's not light, but it is a dragon. But the main reason I got it is it's normal tuner and it has 2,000 defense, because Rider didn't have a lot of defense, but this thing can stay in the field a while because it does have 2,000 defense. And it's also a 1-star tuner. So, too honest. Now the new ban list just updated honest to semi-limited instead of limited, and since a lot of things in this deck are light, I decided too honest. That is a new update to this deck, and I'm assuming that's going to be extremely popular in a lot of light-based decks. So now we also have 2 Darkstorm Dragons. This card is really helpful. You really shouldn't run 1 of these, 2, or maybe even 3. So it's a normal level 8-star monster while it's treated in the graveyard or on the field. So you can Azurai's it back on the field, you can Silver Scry it, you can use it to get out Azurai's since it's normal 8-star monster. And its effect, since this deck doesn't have a lot of back row damage, you can use this effect as basically a heavy storm. What I find myself doing a lot is Call the Haunting it, and then using its effect to destroy Call the Haunted, thus destroying all other magic and trap cards in the field. So this is another new update to my deck. Parasitic, the Insta-Stellar Dragon. Its effect is really good, especially with this deck. If you control level 8 monster, which I do a lot of the time, I can normal summon without tributing, and then I can Xyz summon. So definitely at least one of these. And it's also a light monster and a dragon. Last monster is the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Of course, since everything in here is basically a dragon, this is an extremely helpful card. Before I move on to the magic cards, I want to take a chance to say subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you think. I'm going to be having a Magic Ruler first edition box opening in about 2 weeks, so subscribe for that. That's going to be awesome. And Snatch Steal actually just came off the forbidden list, so I wouldn't mind actually pulling a Snatch Steal out of Magic Ruler. Alright, so first magic cards. We have 3 Silver Cries. Definitely need to have 3 of these. It's a quick play magic card, and you can activate target 1 normal dragon type monster in your graveyard. So it could be Flame Veil, Blue Eyes, or Darkstorm, and special summon it. Really good. 3 trade in. A lot of draw power. Draw 2 cards by discarding a level 8 monster. 3 cards of constant. This is also updated. I used to have this at 2, but now since I'm running more tuners, I decided to have it at 3. It's been working really well. You should really run 3 of these because tons of draw power. Really what you need in this deck. Alright, next up, 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. Like I said, 2 MSTs plus Darkstorm Dragons is enough back row support, so 3 of these is kind of cloggy, but 2 is pretty good. Next, one pod duality. I used to run 2, but this deck does special summon a lot. But sometimes you do get in some situations where you really do need to draw some cards. That's usually what I save this for. A Raigeki just for emergencies. Full Force Strike. I use this to target Maiden. If my opponent isn't going to target it, I use this to target Maiden and get Blue Eyes out on the field. And last magic card, 1 for 1 to get Maiden out on the field. Moving on to the traps now. 3 Fiendish Chain. Now, I don't use this on my opponent's monsters. Very rarely. I actually use this on Maiden. So, I know some of you right now are saying, oh, well, it says it targets the monster and its effect becomes useless. So, how could you use that on Maiden? Well, at first, it targets the monster, setting off Maiden's effect, getting Blue Eyes on the field. Then after that, Maiden's effect becomes useless. So Blue Eyes does still come out on the field, and this is what I use to target Maiden. You need 3 of these in your deck. This is how you get Maiden's effect to set off and get Blue Eyes on the field. You need 3. Moving on to Mirror Force, because you know Mirror Force is just awesome. 1 Call the Haunted, basically for Darkstorm Dragon. A Bottomless Trap Hole. And 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device. Sometimes I actually use this on Maiden to target her and get Blue Eyes out. But usually it's on opponent's monster. Alright. Moving on to the extra deck, which I have made updates to. So, Thunder Red Dragon. Must have for Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. 2 level 8-star monsters. Detach an Xyz material monster from it. And it destroys all other monsters on the field except this card. And if you have a Azurize out that turn, it'll destroy all other monsters except Dragon-type monsters. So, very helpful. Need 1 Thunder Red, maybe 2. 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, because it's 8 stars. Really good effect. Gimmick Puppet, number 15. 2 level 8-star monsters, really good. Queen Dragon Djinn, very helpful. I would definitely recommend using this in any dragon deck. It is extremely helpful. Utopia. Steel Storm Roach, which I don't use too much. Utopia Ray. And the most important card, probably, well, for sure, Azurize Silver Dragon. This is what the deck revolves around next to Maiden. This card I use in every single duel. I use it at least twice. You need to get this card out on the field as soon as possible and start using all of its combos. You can special summon monsters from the graveyard. It has 2500 attack, and its effect basically shuts off your opponent from attacking the monsters or targeting them. And also, I also run 2 Alley of Justice Catastor, because, you know, his effect is really good. Basically, one of the most used synchro monsters ever, and very helpful. So, for the side deck, you can really use whatever you want. I'm still working on constructing a good side deck. Necro Valley is really good against a lot of decks that I run today. Dark Hole, just in case they start getting lots of monsters on the field. Dark Hole actually just went from limited to semi-limited. And a Kaiser, Full House, because I hate back row. Mind Crush, Prohibition, another MST, Curse of Darkness, and Chain Burst. And you can really run whatever you want. Those are just some of the cards I'm running in my side deck. Because this deck is actually this main deck is really good. You don't need to side too much. I do need to throw a Neo-Spacian Grand Mole into this, but besides that, the side deck is really totally up to you. But the main deck, you definitely need to have a structure very similar to mine. And for those people that run Bright Star Dragon, I don't like doing that because you use its effect and it only has 1600 attack, so it can be destroyed easily on the field. I prefer using Fiendish Chain to target Maiden, thus getting Blue Eyes out on the field. In my opinion, it's much easier. So yeah, guys, that is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be having more openings coming up soon, especially old school openings, such as that first edition of Magic Ruler. So yeah, guys, peace out.